Hello, welcome back to another Stonksy video. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how you can accumulate 1 Bitcoin or the target amount of Bitcoin that you want to achieve. All I ask from you to do today is drop a like on the video, subscribe, and click them links in the description. Sign up to BloFin, which is the exchange on screen. Create your non-KYC account today with the Stonksy link. You get some great welcome bonuses. And 2, join Stonksy. If after this video you're feeling motivated or want to achieve your Bitcoin goals, sign up today. We are still running a 20% off for first time users at the time of recording, so click that link in the description alongside the discount code which is next to it. Hop over to the website and put that in at checkout on the monthly plan to get that discount, and try Stonksy today for 20% off. You get access to everything, the indicator, Discord server, and the trading bots, all part of the package. But yeah, let's roll into the video and let me show you how you can accumulate your amount of Bitcoin that you want. But in this video, obviously, we'll be looking specifically at 1 Bitcoin. Let's get into it. So to accumulate 1 Bitcoin, you're obviously going to have some startup capital, or obviously if you're looking to accumulate a smaller amount, obviously you'll probably be starting with a smaller amount of capital. So for instance, if you have $10,000, which at the time of recording, Bitcoin is at $103,000. So let's just call it $100,000 Bitcoin for the sake of the maths. So if you've got $10,000, obviously you're looking for a 10x to get to 1 full Bitcoin. If you've got $1,000, you're looking for 100x. But say you've got $1,000 and you want to get, say, a quarter of a Bitcoin, 0.25, then obviously that's a 25x. So you can always scale this down into whatever figure you're starting with and what you'd like to achieve, and obviously denominate that into Bitcoin, so then you can achieve your goal. But obviously 1 full Bitcoin makes you a full coiner, and obviously, as many people speculate, in the future will put you into a very high bracket of wealth if Bitcoin takes the trajectory that a lot of people think that it will take, and everyone obviously in this industry wants it to take. So let's take a look at that now. Okay, so the math. Starting with $10,000 with a daily interest rate of 1%. So say you're aiming to gain 1% daily. It would take you, and this is only working off 5 days a week. So say for instance, whether you still have a job, or maybe you like to take 1 or 2 days off a week just to reset the mind, and obviously while the price action isn't as volatile or there's not as much volume on the weekend days, this would take you just under 11 months. So 11 months takes it to $107,000, starting with the 10,000, excluding Saturday and Sunday. So that is across 11 months. So that would be 5 days a week, every week, 1% interest gain along them 5 days with the capital amount on a compound interest to get to just above, obviously, that Bitcoin amount that we're looking for, that 1 whole Bitcoin. So that's what it is, starting with $10,000. So obviously if you start with a much lower amount, say $1,000, and again you're doing the 1% rule of gaining 1% 5 days a week, every week, it would take you 1 year, 9 months, and 8 days to get to that big 6 figure. So obviously that's a lot longer, nearly 2 years, but that is only doing across 5 days a week of 1%. Obviously we know, being in crypto, Bitcoin moves a lot more volatile and obviously goes on these big extended runs where, in 1 day or potentially 1 week, you could make 1 month, 2 months, maybe even 3 months of returns inside a very short amount of time to speed up this process. But again, that is just going off one of them typical and old-timer 1% a day rules. We can obviously look at how you can expedite this process and use the best possible tools to make this journey as quick and efficient and obviously just less stressful as possible. So let's take a look at that now. So on the screen at the moment, I've got the Bitcoin chart loaded up. Now, you might be wondering, if you've not seen it before, what is this on the background? What is this on the screen alongside the price action? Now, this is Stonksy, so this is the Stonksy indicator. Stonksy is made up of several different working parts. The actual thing on the background you can see is the background color change. Now, that signals long positions in the market with the green background, and then short positions in the market with the red background. Stonksy's also got several different working parts. It's got automated SR lines, it's got bullish and bearish arrows, as you can see one here, and it works across all markets, so all of crypto, everything that you can pull up on TradingView, but it also works on stocks, it works on gold, silver, it works on currency pairings for your FX, it works on everything on TradingView. But obviously, primarily, we are looking at Bitcoin. So, as you can see here, Stonksy went long on Bitcoin at $96,800-ish, and it rode the trend all the way up and then eventually closed at $102,500. Now, that came in with a gain of just under 6% from open till close. But obviously, at times, it did reach a point of 8% or over. But strictly off open till close, it gained 6%. Now, this was in a time frame of Wednesday the 7th to Monday the 12th. So around about 5 or 6 days, give or take the time difference on them specific days as well for opening and closing. Now, that kind of lines up, obviously, with the 1% a day rule. But, obviously, we are looking at Bitcoin, the market leader, where altcoins are obviously the most volatile and give the biggest swings in the negative, but also in the positive. But if we look at something else, we can also look at how you can expedite this process and make it quicker than looking at the 1% a day rule. With trades like this, and this one, which also was just on a span of a day and came in at the 5-minute chart. Now, what you'll notice about this one is that it has the background, obviously, which is green, but it also has this green arrow here. Now, this is something particularly that we look at on Stonksy on stream, is the double background confirmation, which is made up of the background color change plus the bullish arrow soon after, or obviously for the short side, the red background with the red arrow. Now, this works especially good on the 5-minute and 6-minute chart. If you do want a full run through on exactly how to benefit from these double confirmations on the 5-minute and 6-minute and why they're so good, make sure you hop over to the channel and check out this one, trading Bitcoin and altcoins, Stonksy 6-minute chart, and making big profits trading, Stonksy 5-minute chart. Them two videos are specifically about the two time frames that we're talking about and explain to you why they are so good. But back to looking about this trade, this was obviously just across the span of a day, and we got a 5% gain on this on Stonksy. So, adopting the 1% day rule, this would have been 5 days worth, but of course we are in crypto, so we can expedite this with things like, while being sensible, but utilizing leverage. So, not going crazy, but, 3, 4, 5x are all sensible regions in leverage without going too high and risking too much. Also, if you are experienced, then perhaps, you can manage higher leverage amounts while keeping your risk managed and obviously keeping losses to a minimum. But with this specific process that we're talking about with how to accumulate Bitcoin through trading, it's not just Bitcoin that you can trade. You can obviously use Stonksy on anything. So, for instance, this Ethereum trade that we have here, Stonksy caught all the pump up from just above $1,800 and ended up closing around the 2575 level, which was a 40% gain in just around a week. Well, it was actually, bang on a week. Obviously, then we got a red background for a couple hours, but then it's back in the green and already back in profit again on that background. But a 40% gain obviously puts a massive big green P&L on your starting amount or just the capital amount that you've worked up to. And obviously, fast forward you along the timeline to get to these figures that you want on Bitcoin, whether it be 1 Bitcoin, half a Bitcoin, or a quarter of a Bitcoin. Capturing trades like this is an absolute must and obviously gets you to where you want to go faster, all while utilizing this superb indicator called Stonksy. So that is the value and the importance of using Stonksy and how it can benefit you while trading, and obviously a few examples. If you do want to see more examples, obviously you can find more videos on the channel of recent uploads covering just how good Stonksy is and how it can benefit your trading. But obviously what the video is about is how you can then earn Bitcoin from it. So, obviously, 4 key steps to this. Number 1, get Stonksy. Get your 20% off in the description. 2, you want to sign up to BloFin. Obviously, if you're going to trade and you're going to look to earn Bitcoin, you need to have a place to trade and have a place to then swap that USDT into Bitcoin. So, obviously, that ties into number 3, which is obviously trade on BloFin. Then when you get that green P&L, closing it obviously gives you a greater amount of USDT. You then want to obviously swap that out in for Bitcoin, and then obviously tied into number 4, stack that Bitcoin and get to the specific figure that you want. Obviously in this video we're talking about 1 whole Bitcoin becoming a full coiner. So then obviously that brings us back to BloFin itself, where you will be trading and where you will be placing your trades based on what Stonksy is saying to then increase your stack of USDT and then obviously buy Bitcoin with it. So this is what BloFin looks like. As you can see, the interface is very, very nice. It's very easy on the eye. The user interface and experience is superb. Obviously, this is the future section, so this is where you'll be placing trades. If you do want to know how to trade this, you will find some videos in the description on how to trade on BloFin, whether that be setting up an account, whether it be depositing and moving funds into a futures account, or whether it be trading Bitcoin itself actually on BloFin. We do have full videos on that on this channel. But obviously moving over to BloFin, you will obviously transfer USDT into this account, then you'll be trading. Now you could work it two ways. It depends on obviously how you personally want to do it. Say you're starting with $10,000. You might want to build a buffer up so you don't go below that. So say you get to $12,000, $13,000. You then have a buffer for obviously to take some losses because no one is going to have 100% strike rate. So you could build yourself a buffer up. So then you've got, a good distance between it. Okay, say, you take a loss on one trade. It's not the end of the world because, you built a buffer and then you can look to then get back on track. And then after that, you could then just continue to stack it and maybe you move additional funds. So you say you stop at $13,000. You've got a $3,000 buffer from where you started. And then anything above that, you move into a spot account. Or you obviously then move it, the USDT into a spot account and then buy Bitcoin and then withdraw it. So whether you keep the USDT on BloFin and then just keep stacking until you get enough to buy the exact amount of Bitcoin that you want, or whether you just do it as you go along. So then you say, you make $1,000 one day on a trade, you move that USDT into the spot account and then you buy $1,000 of Bitcoin and then you either keep the Bitcoin on there or obviously if you've got a ledger or something like that, you withdraw it. And then you just keep doing that as you go along. The choice is yours. Obviously, BloFin will let you do either because it is safe and secure, but also, obviously, it has fast and reliable withdrawals as well. There's never been any issues on that front, so you can have peace of mind with that. But those are two options for you. So whether you accumulate as you go or you're looking to build a big stack and buy it all at once, obviously, it's market dependent as well. At the moment, when you're watching this video, say it's been out for a couple of weeks, Bitcoin might be 10% lower, it might be 10% higher, it might be even a bigger swing in both directions. The price of Bitcoin will change. You might be able to get away with getting the Bitcoin faster if we get a price crash, or obviously if it goes higher, you'll have to make a decision whether you wait or if you just keep working towards that figure of Bitcoin that you want to achieve. But that's all for today's video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Do make sure you drop a like on the video and subscribe if you haven't. And I hope that's shown you how you can start with a certain amount of capital and how you can work on accumulating your target goal of Bitcoin, whether that is becoming a whole coiner and having one Bitcoin, whether that is becoming a half coiner or 0.5 Bitcoin, a quarter, or maybe you're going for a whale amount. Maybe you're starting with, say, $100,000 and you're looking to get 10 Bitcoin. The choice is there. You can scale this as much as you want and utilize Stonksy to help you achieve your specific goals. But do make sure you sign up to Stonksy. Here's the website. This is the plan that you want to get the discount. You click the monthly option here, and then it is code BOT20, as you'll see here. Pop that in the checkout box, and that will take you 20% off. And we will get you access to the indicator, the Discord server, and the trading bots on BloFin when you've signed up. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.